So this week, I just wanted to say I'm feeling a little discouraged, all right? So it's my first week in the business. You know, you dream of having a million listings and you listen to all these YouTubes about people with millions of dollars in volume. Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. This is Kim and Tovah with
The Good, the Bad, the Market.
All right, this is week 1 for me.
And 5 months for me.
And we're going to start off with the good. So Kim, you go first.
So I actually had a really great week. I got a new listing. It is all the way out in Goodyear though. But you know, right now you take whatever you can get.
Money is money, man.
Exactly. And I just want to, you know, get as many listings as I can now, keep learning. So, you know, eventually I guess I'll more centralize my business and try to focus on one area. But Arizona, we're here right now.
So. Yeah. So we're going to take what we can get, even if it's 3 hours, and we'll just listen to YouTubes and songs and podcasts. So.
Exactly. Just try to learn some more while we're at it. This week I actually also had 2 closings. So one of them was my highest sale price thus far, and we actually got $30,000 over asking.
Wow.
Price for this home. So this was a big one for me.
Yeah.
And it feels good. So closings are always a good thing, you know, up until that day. It's a little bit stressful making sure everything's in line to close on time.
Right.
And you have everything from all the different parties. But then once it happens, it's a great feeling. And it's always nice to send your clients a text and just say, you know, it's official, it's recorded, and you are closed. And so that's very exciting. And this one was also a post-possession.
Okay, tell me what a post-possession means, because the new girl over here has no idea.
Yeah, so this was a first time for me as well.
Okay.
So post-possession, we actually did a lease back. So what that means is we closed this week.
Okay.
So it is closed, and it is now officially the buyer's home.
Okay.
However, the sellers haven't moved out yet. They still live there, and so they're basically leasing the home back from the new buyers.
Okay. And did you have to do the lease agreement? Okay, so you not only do the closing, but you do the lease agreement as well.
Yeah, so it's actually just an amendment to their purchase contract.
Okay.
So it's all stated in there, and you basically you do that amendment and you hand it to title and to their lender and everyone that needs it.
Okay.
And they kind of handled it that way.
Okay.
You can do it too where they do like a separate lease agreement, but we decided to do it as an amendment to the contract.
Okay.
So that's another thing, you know, with all of the different things that you might come across, I think there's also a lot of different ways you can do it. And that also might depend on the preference of the lender or what kind of loan they have, for kind of what options are available to them.
Okay.
But in this case, it worked out super smooth to just do it as an amendment. They did keep $1,000 as like a rental deposit, kind of.
Okay.
And then the sellers, who are now the leasees.
Makes sense. Sounds like a test question, Kim. I already got past all that.
Wow. So they will get that $1,000 back when they move out.
Okay.
But that's kind of just to protect the new buyer.
Like a security deposit, like if you were renting at a apartment complex.
Exactly. So we did that separate, not in escrow, because there was a fee if you kept it in escrow.
Okay.
But yeah, so it all worked out super smoothly. They get to stay there till the end of the year, which helps them because they're waiting on a new home to be built.
Okay.
So yeah, it all that was like a smooth closing that we had.
Nice.
And it happened to be my highest sale price so far. So that was super fun. Definitely a high moment. So what about the good for you this week?
All right, y'all. I got my license this week on Monday. I got my business cards. I got my license. I held my first open house, which was actually terrifying. I did it with a member on my team. So every time a potential buyer came in, I was like just sitting in the background, which is completely fine. If you are just learning right now, it is okay to not know what you're doing, because I don't know, and Kim did not know either.
No.
So I had my first open house. I went door knocking. So for those of you who don't know, you can go door knocking. It's kind of like cold calling, but you're going to people's doors. Definitely go with somebody. Don't do this on your own, please. So I went and door knocked just to let the neighbors know about the open house that we were holding during the weekend. So during the week, we knocked on all the neighbors' doors and just let them know, hey, we're having an open house, which got me to another one of my good, and I got 3 potential leads.
Yes.
By knocking on the doors, and I just asked, hey, are you thinking about buying or selling your home? And 3 people said, actually, yes. And none of them were working with realtors. So I said, let me get your number and your email, and I'll set you up with a search, the whole script. So I was like, heck yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, that was my good, which I guess I can go first with the bad then.
Okay.
So I was on a super high, I was like 3 leads week 1.
Awesome.
Emailed all of them, called all of them. No one wanted me yet. Maybe. Oh, who knows?
Don't give up.
Don't give up. That is the biggest thing for me at the very moment, is not giving up. So no, all those leads fell through. For now, maybe I will keep pushing and see if, touches. You have to keep touching them.
Yeah, and I will say, don't give up on your leads, you guys. Like, when they're your lead forever. Unless they literally tell you, I do not want to work with you and I'm not interested, please stop reaching out.
Right.
Then stop, because we don't need any other problems. But if that's not said, they're just like, they don't respond, or maybe now is not the right time, keep up with it, because there will be a time and you'll be right there ready for them,
Right.
And there's one of our listings, I think the first time we went out there was like in August, so months ago, and they just reached back out a couple weeks ago and were like, all right, are you ready to list my house? And it was like, of course.
Yeah.
But we thought they were gone, we thought they'd probably found a different agent, or they weren't going to sell anymore.
Okay.
No, so don't give up.
All right, so I will keep you guys updated with these 3 people, and I will not give up on them.
Don't. And I think you guys, if you have 10 leads, if you get one of them, that is great.
That's true.
That is so great.
That's true. I think that is the only bad of my week, is just, having leads kind of fall through, but I'll keep going with them. So, bad for you?
Awesome. The bad for me was, let me think. So, I had one seller that came home, and they were having the inspection at their house.
Okay.
And they came home a little bit early, and the buying agent was there, which is normal. Normally, you have your inspection, and then the buying side goes there to kind of go over the inspection report and what was found. And that's standard. And normally, the selling agent, we're not supposed to be there. We're supposed to just give them their time to go over everything.
Okay.
But he came home early and saw that they were all sitting at his kitchen table.
Okay.
And he's an older gentleman, love him to death. But, it bothered him that he walked into his kitchen and all those people that he didn't realize, who all would be there were sitting at his kitchen counter. So I got a nice phone call about that. And, sometimes, people are very particular, especially coming into their home, with all their belongings. This is like their safe place. And so it's already kind of weird for people to have other people in their home. And then, to top it off, you're selling your home, and maybe you still love your home, and either you're moving on to a different opportunity, but it's still kind of bittersweet, And so, especially for them, they want to be selling their home to move on to the next chapter, but they also don't really want to sell their home at the same time. So, you just have to really be there for them and understanding, and even though, that is standard, and we did tell him that they would be there.
Okay.
We didn't know exactly how many people necessarily, but you kind of just have to really make sure you reassure them, I totally understand why you're upset. I'll make sure to let her know, so for future she lets people know how many people will be there to go over it. And then just kind of let them know too that it is standard, and that, he was worried about all of his possessions and stuff like that. So everyone there, the agent and the inspector, they're licensed individuals, that, everything, is safe in his home, I guess, to say. But yeah, and then I kind of just let him calm down for a few hours, and then give him a call back and just make sure he's okay and everything is good, and then just let him know that kind of the next steps in the whole process. And that's another thing too, just communication is the biggest thing that you could ever do. So just make sure every step along the way you're in communication with everyone, especially your client, whether it's buyer or seller, and just making sure it's a big process for either party.
Yeah.
So just make sure that they're comfortable along the way. But anytime that they're not 100% happy, it's a little bit stressful, and you just have to
Just
figure
go
it out.
with it.
Yeah.
I heard that real estate agents are kind of like therapists, especially when it comes to sellers, because this is for most people, this is like your biggest asset, you know? And like Kim was saying, yes, sometimes people are selling their homes, but they don't want to, especially right now during, quarantine and the pandemic. Some people have to downsize.
Definitely.
And so they don't want to see other people in their home. So really being, empathetic will take you a really long way, coming from somebody with no experience. But so I have heard in YouTube videos.
Totally. And whether you guys have experience in real estate or not, you're a person, so
True.
so remember that at the end of the day, like, you can kind of shut off the business side a little bit and just be there for someone and kind of put yourself in their shoes and whatever their story might be, because everyone has a story, whether they shared it with you or not. You kind of have to just step back and realize that even though you might have a million other things going on and this is the last thing you need is to deal with this, but it's part of the game.
True.
Just care.
Yeah. So how to overcome the bad of this week for Kim is to just care, and me to just chill out and just let the process happen. All right, guys. So this is the time in our video where we give you the market update of Arizona.
Yeah, so as you all know, it's been a crazy time worldwide now, and in Arizona. But luckily, in a recent study by Wallet Hub, Arizona has top 4 cities for the greatest comeback after COVID.
Okay.
So that was Chandler, Gilbert, Scottsdale, and Peoria.
Wow.
So we're on that list. So that's a good sign with everything crazy that's been going on right now. If any of you agents have buyers out there, you also know that the inventory is very low.
Yeah.
So supply has gone up, but it is still 63% below normal, which is just crazy. So we have a lot of buyers and not a lot of homes to sell. So that's really creating that competitive atmosphere, which is driving up the prices. And then demand for pending sales is up 24% year over year. So that's big too. So we definitely just need more sellers out there, work on getting your listings so then you can help your buyers out as well. And I do think that, as next year comes along, we will have a more supply of houses, which will help our buyers out as well.
Yeah, I did an open house and we put it on the market. Well, not we. So for new agents, if you don't have listings, what I've been doing is doing open houses for other people. Make sure that that is okay with your broker and that you're staying within your brokerage, or else, legal things can happen. But so I have just been doing open houses for other people, and they put it on the market on Friday, and Saturday morning there was an offer. So things are going like that, which is driving the seller prices up, but good thing for buyers that the interest rates are so low.
Exactly.
So it's a win-win for everybody right now.
Definitely. And maybe we'll talk about that in the next couple weeks here. But since the interest rates are so low, some of my buyers, we actually did like a side-by-side comparison on, if they bought the house right now for maybe a higher sales price versus if they bought it, say, a year or two ago at a lower price, but the interest rates were higher, and kind of showing what they saved over the amount of their loan. And they'll actually end up paying less over the amount of time, even though the sales price was more. So you can get a little bit more home and more bang for your buck, I guess, with the low interest rate. So it might intimidate people that the prices are higher, but it kind of averages itself out, with the low interest rates.
And let us know if you guys want us to talk about refinancing. I know that is a big topic right now, so comment below. And if you want us to talk about refinancing, we definitely can we can do it, we can get one of our lenders who are amazing to explain that as well.
Yep, definitely.
So now we are going to do tip of the day. So Kim, what is your tip of the day?
So my tip is really just find what you're passionate about, because there are so many different aspects in real estate, and I think whatever you care about is what you're going to put the most effort, and you need a lot of effort right now, especially starting out. But find, too, what aspect of real estate you're really passionate about, and then focus on that. So whether that's buyers or new builds or sellers or first-time buyers, really try to find your niche. And I think that that kind of helps to not get overwhelmed, and, you're kind of just focusing all your energy on one thing, which will help you be more successful there. And the rest will kind of come. You're going to end up learning every aspect of it because that's just the nature of the game and you kind of have to. But I think if you can focus on what you really care about and what you really want to be doing, it'll help you out there.
Okay. I think my tip of the day or the week is to ask a bunch of questions. I wouldn't be sitting here with Kim if I didn't ask her a bunch of questions. My team, I wouldn't have gotten those 3 leads if I didn't ask a bunch of questions. Don't be afraid. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. Like, I know for Kim, I was kind of afraid to be like, oh my gosh, tell me all this information. But if somebody came up to me and asked me, I would be totally willing to tell them everything I know. So just this week, try to ask your mentors or your leaders or your team more questions than you normally would, and get those answers that you need to be successful in this real estate game.
Totally. And you guys, that's how you learn. Like, if y'all don't ask questions, you're not going to learn and you're just going to be stuck in one spot, So make sure you ask those questions. I know it sounds stupid, but there really is no stupid question. Like, there's a lot of acronyms and things that now, being in the game, and they seem normal. But starting out, you have no idea what half those things mean.
Yeah.
So it takes a while, and you'll get it. And just ask those questions. Find someone. Other realtors should be able to help you, That's kind of like what we're trying to do here is it doesn't matter what brokerage you're with or how long you've been in it, but we can all kind of help each other out.
All right, and the last thing today is a mindset check. So, Kim, where's your mindset at this week?
So my mindset's very great. We've started this what we're doing here, and it definitely helps to kind of talk about the good and the bad and kind of let it out, and then you can kind of leave it on last week, And so, we have a new listing. I'm feeling very confident that this coming week is going to be even better than the week before, and we're just going to keep learning and. Yeah. Okay. So I'm in a good mindset this week, I think. What about you?
So on our channel, we really want to talk about how we are feeling, whether that is good or bad. So this week, I just wanted to say I'm feeling a little discouraged, all right? So it's my first week in the business. You dream of having 1 million listings and you listen to all these YouTubes about people with millions of dollars in volume, and I'm like, dang, can I catch a break? So I'm feeling a little discouraged, but I'm going to keep pushing through because I'm not going to be one of the ones that give up. And we'll see what next week holds.
Yes, you got this, and surround yourself with people that when you are having those discouraging weeks,
right,
which we all do, trust me, there's some weeks that it feels like there was no good. Surround yourself with people that are doing good things and just keep learning and keep absorbing, and you will get there, I promise. You will get all those listings. You'll get your leads, and the buyers will call you back, and you're going to get more leads next week, and life is good, my dear.
That's true. So follow us on Instagram, The Good, The Bad, The Market, and leave some comments. We need some tips. We need some suggestions. Like, what should we be doing next week? What can get me leads and buyers?
Yeah, and share your good, your bad, and whatever's going on in your market, wherever you might be at. We'd love to hear it.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye.